Welcome back. It is almost Thanksgiving and we are going to be pressure cooking this turkey. This is the fastest way to cook a turkey inside your home. Not as fast as frying the turkey, but that is a little bit dangerous, needs a lot of oil and needs some time outside, and I am not about to have a turkey explode on me. So we are going to cook this in the pressure cooker. I did this a few years ago for the first time and it was the most moist, juicy, tender turkey I have ever had. So that is what I'm going to do today. Now, one thing about pressure cooking a turkey is you will not get a very nice like golden brown skin on it. So if you want that, you need to broil it after for about 5 minutes. But this is literally half the time to cook this as it is in the oven. This is a 14-pound turkey. The time for cooking turkeys is about 13 to 14 minutes per pound in the oven, or about 5 to 6 minutes per pound in the pressure cooker. Now that time is a little bit deceiving because it does have to come up to pressure and then you do have to let it release pressure. You don't have to let it release all the way like you would for canning, but you definitely don't want to have like steam just explode into your house. And so we're going to let it cool down for a little first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it out of the packaging, get some seasonings on it. You can season it however you would like. I do recommend not stuffing your bird before cooking it in the pressure cooker. I have done that before. It increases the time significantly and I just found that I didn't enjoy it as much. So I'm going to be doing stuffing just in the oven as usual. And then, I mean, you could do herbs and such inside of the bird. That way you have some delicious flavor, but I wouldn't do bread. So let me get this stuffed up and then we will be back and we'll talk about how we're going to use the pressure canner. Have our turkey out, it's fully prepped. I have some compound butter inside under the skin and I have a little bit that was left on top of it. I am going to now get this into our pressure canner, and I think I need to move this pie out of the way first so I don't accidentally get turkey juice on it. I'm making a full Thanksgiving feast today, and so if you're interested in seeing all the different bars that I made, I will have those linked at the end of the video. But let's get this in there. So what I did is I added a little bit of water in there, and I have this like, I don't know what to call this. It's like a tray and I have it upside down just so the turkey isn't sitting directly on the heat. And there's just a tad bit of water in there so there's something to boil. And the turkey will make a lot of its own broth as well. So let's get the turkey in here. Goal being to not make a mess. Now I did not stuff the turkey. I would not recommend stuffing it if you're going to be putting it in here. Now, one thing also to note is that it's going to be really hard to take it out because it's going to be fall apart tender. So have a plan for that. I am going to use some silicone gloves, but that's as easy as this is. All we have to do is put the lid on it and then turn on the timer. I didn't mean timer, I meant turn on the heat. Now that this pressure canner is on, I am going to let it fully build up pressure. I'm at, well, I guess it doesn't really matter what pressure you have. I'm just gonna say I'm at mile high, 5,280 feet. So I always use 15 pounds of pressure when pressure canning. I'm still going to use 15 pounds of pressure because that's the size weight that I have. And then once it gets to pressure, that's when I'll start the timer. It's 5 to 6 minutes per pound. This is a 14-pound turkey. And so if I round that to 15 pounds, because that's easy math, then we can do 5 to 6 would be 1 hour and 15 minutes to 1 hour and 30 minutes because I'm doing like 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour and 4 quarters of an hour is an hour. That's kind of how I was doing it. So we need about 1 hour and 15 minutes to 1 hour and 30 minutes. This is the quickest way to cook a turkey. So I'm gonna put the weight on this before it comes up to pressure. And this is just like if you had an Instant Pot and you were going to flip it to sealing instead of venting, that's what this is doing. So same thing, just a bigger pot. So usually either a smaller turkey, smaller pot, or big turkey, big pot kind of works the same way. This is going to be delicious. We'll be back once it's cooked. We are about up to pressure. This took about 20 minutes to get fully up to pressure. So we are going to start the timer for an hour and a half, and that brings us to an hour and 50 minutes. This is probably going to be a 2-hour process instead of about 4. So this is half the time that it takes to cook a turkey in the oven. The timer just went off after an hour and a half, so I did cook this for 6 minutes per pound, and I just turned off the stove. I'm going to let it come down in pressure a little bit, and then I probably will do a manual release for some of it, but I don't want to release 15 pounds of pressure all at once. So it's currently 2:15. We'll see how long it takes to come down. It's been about 15 minutes. This is now down to just 4 pounds of pressure. I am going to get this taken off and let it release the rest of the way. The pressure has now come down all the way. That took about another 5 minutes. I am going to just kind of tip this up a little bit. I want that steam to come out a little bit before I use my arms to move it over. And I always use like funny looking gloves because I do not want to be burned by it. So altogether, that was about 2 hours and 5 minutes. So we'll see if it's cooked. Okay, let's move this over. Now we're not expecting the skin to look good at all, but we are expecting it to be cooked all the way through. Ooh, it looks good. Look at that. Looks like it's cooked. Let's double check though. Whoops. Just to be safe. Woo. Woo. It's yelling at us. Oh yeah. 173. Let's check another spot. 190. We are definitely cooked. Yep. Oh yeah. We need to get it onto here. So I do have a cooling rack and then this rack, and somehow I need this to get there. I'm not quite sure how to do that. This is the one thing about pressure cooking it that always kind of gets me confused. I feel like I need a step stool so I can get in here. Pressure cooking is not for presentation. Look at that. It's just falling right off. It's mainly for taste, so skip this step if you're taller than me. A little too close. Is this what you guys see? This is adding, I don't know, 8 inches to me. That would be 5'9". Perfect. We'll just take the skin off of there. At this point, I think the spoon might be the best bet. Okay, is it funny that I'm literally, I was walking over to get this spoon and I thought to myself how I just said skip this step if you're taller than me, and I was thinking like this step of what I'm doing, but I'm literally on a step. Okay, so that was just too funny. Okay, I'm gonna get the rest of this out of here and then we will taste it. Okay, for the most part, I got everything out of there. Look at that. Now the skin, I'm just going to take off, and we won't use the skin. Ooh, hot. So I'm just going to put these pieces in here. Woo. And let's see, can I grab a piece? Turkey is not my favorite of white meats, but this is about as juicy as you're gonna get it. I guess of poultry, I should say. I think this could have even gone for like 15 minutes less than I did it for. I've had it in the past though, where it didn't cook all the way through, mainly because I added the stuffing into it, so I would say probably could have done a lot less, because this is shredding apart. Well, it's really nicely shredding apart. All right, there you have it. About 2 hours later, we have a 14-pound turkey completely cooked and even a little bit cooked too long. So this is the fastest way to get your turkeys cooked, and it is delicious. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'd love to see you. I am making desserts and all of the sides to go along with Thanksgiving. So if those videos are out yet, they will be right here. If not, there will be some others. In the meantime, thanks so much for being here. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.